As a kid, I remember my dad always had a phone in his hands, and it doesn't matter if it was mid-dinner or mid-conversation, mid-story. The moment it was ringing, I heard the sentence, "I have to take it, it's urgent." And he would disappear, and then, of course, it affected their relationship. And what I didn't realize back then is that dangerous vision created and imprinted in my brain and created a dangerous belief that when you answer your phone, it means it's urgent, people will respect you, you will get money, you will get success. Most importantly, this feeling of validation, being loved, is being reinforced. Your self-worth is based on answering that phone. It was imprinted in my head. And even though later on, when I was adult and I became an entrepreneur, I was trying to set boundaries of not being like my father. I decided I will not be like him, and I will do anything in my power to try to control my boundaries. But every time I was trying to set those boundaries, one out of two would happen, or I was sticking to them, but that feeling of how dare they to cross those boundaries was always erupting, and this frustrations of like, how dare you to send me this email this late or to call me this late. The second outcome was happening is that I was actually going to my email, going to my phone and answer, because I understood, wait, it's very urgent right now, I'm just going to deal with just this one thing. Now, was it affecting my relationships? Definitely. Was it affecting me and my identity? Definitely. And me trying to force and to be better at managing those boundaries and not letting people cross them. I was like blaming other people crossing my boundaries was definitely not efficient until I realized how I work with subconscious and with brain and what boundaries are, and trying to fight it on just setting the boundaries again, or trying to say I need to try harder and next time I will not answer, will not work. So here are a few things that will help you to follow through on your own rules, which you know you set, no one else told you, you know that you want to follow through. So why aren't you? Here are a few things that's going to help you. Only 5 things to understand that will completely change your approach to this whole scenario. The first one is to understand that even though right now you're trying to change something and you want it to change, that invisible contract with yourself that you made as a child that saw a certain behavior is there. Most likely it was created by an authority figure, most likely one of your parents, both of them, or someone in your circle that you saw that gets validation, love, respect, worth, value out of answering their phone, out of being there for the client, that was proving that he's worthy of them and their attention. That contract is there. Trying to ignore it right now and trying to say, okay, I don't believe it anymore. It is true, but on the subconscious level, it's still there, and you have to remove it in order to not self-sabotage yourself anymore. Try to think about who you know or knew as a kid that was doing this kind of behavior, and maybe now he's successful. And without understanding, your subconscious created this belief contract that might be still sitting there. Most likely, it is the one that's sabotaging you and your behavior, your own boundaries, your own rules. Boundary breaking is emotional. It's not logical. Stop trying to logic yourself out or into that. So you know the rules. It's not you don't know the rules. Making lists will not necessarily help because your brain knows what the priorities are. It's just not following through. So all of those things of putting post-its and reminders sometimes will help you only when you address the real issue, the emotional part. Without addressing the emotional part, it's just going to be logistics that most likely will fail. And then you will feel like a failure, and that's definitely not good for our self-esteem. So remember that trying to solve it on logical levels most likely will not succeed. Forcing yourself to follow through your own boundaries most likely will fail as well, because it is difficult if there is emotional connection with your subconscious. Remove that one, then of course set all of the reminders and everything. It's going to be disconnected. Now it's just changing the behavior. So that's definitely the part that can help you with moving forward. The third one, and I am sure you heard it right now, not everything is urgent, but somehow in your brain, everything is. Now, everything is, not only in your brain, because if you're an entrepreneur or if you're a CEO, you're running a company, you're a founder, or you have just a job that actually requires to be a responsible person, everything is important. Everything is urgent. You might lose a client, you might lose millions, people might be fired because of certain situations, projects are gonna be delayed. All of those things are urgent. So saying it's not urgent, it's not important right now, impossible for your brain to deal with. But understanding that one thing is, this work, is this project, is answering this phone right now more important for me than my relationship, more important for me than my life? Is this email more important than my child? Yes, ask yourself that it's that extreme, because sometimes our brain created the feeling, the validation we're gonna get from those people. We completely ignore the fact that those people will not wait. We understand that they will wait. There I have the validation, my responsibility is there, and subconsciously we forget that our responsibility is also here. I hope this question can help you every time that you will hear your phone ring and ask yourself, is my relationship less important? The fourth one, and this is a striking one because we forget about this one. The feeling of self-betrayal and this loop of not succeeding in your own boundaries eventually creates a feeling that it's not worth setting them. Because you said it once, you said it twice, you said it 3 times, and you're not following through because you have this thing in your head, emotional thing that you're not even aware of, or maybe you are starting to right now. And eventually we just give up and we say, okay, whatever. And what happens is that you lose yourself, you lose your relationship, you lose that feeling, because all you will care about is the client, is the project, is that answering to the email. It will take priority over your life without understanding that, and we don't want that. So understand that if you're gonna set a small boundary, that's gonna be your success, not just now, but later on as well. And building that, it is a skill. Building boundaries is a skill. Following rules, your own rules, is a skill. So don't try and go like, from now on, I'm going to put myself as a priority in my life. That's too big. Your subconscious doesn't understand that, and then it will fail, and then it will not continue or follow through. And you're gonna do those manifestations every week or every month or every Christmas or every New Year when you're gonna do New Year's resolutions. You're gonna remember, oh yeah, priority is me, but you're not there. So remember that it is a self-sabotaging loop of failing, and it means that needs to be addressed. The last one is to understand something very simple, but also very complex to follow through and to work on. Changing your behavior that is based on identity, it means to addressing your identity. Trying to change your behavior without understanding why it is important to you as a human being, subconsciously for your identity, it's not going to bring the best results. You're going to be struggling with yourself. You're going to be hating that. You're going to be frustrated. There's going to be a lot of guilt, which is not a nice feeling to have, especially in relationships with your partner, with your family, or even with yourself. When you feel guilty for not doing something all the time, it doesn't bring the results that you want. It doesn't bring the happiness that you want. And somehow you cannot stop it. So working on the identity before you try to solve the problem of changing your behavior will bring you the easier solution for changing the behavior, and it will bring you the result that right now most likely you're still struggling with. And think about it. If I would take your laptop and your phone away from you for just one evening, what would be your emotional state? Would you fear for what would happen? Now, yes, this model still lives inside of you, and asking yourself those questions will help you to get out of this loop of self-sabotaging, trying to set boundaries, trying to set your own rules, always fail, feel frustrated, still wanting to succeed in your business, losing your relationship slowly, step by step, without understanding that you actually don't have control over it right now, and it's so easy to fix if you will address the right core problem. So next time when this question pops in, when the phone is ringing or for the next WhatsApp message, ask yourself not whether it's urgent or important. Ask yourself, is this moment that I'm spending right now here important? And the answer is going to be very easy to answer. Boundaries are not walls. They're not here to protect us from the intruders, from the enemies. They're here to set the tone of who I want to be, what kind of identity I want to have, what kind of a person that I see myself becoming, and building it not only for the relationships that we have around ourselves, but also for ourselves. So we can have that energy not only to continue validating our worth and proving ourselves that we can and we're capable, but actually spending this energy on something much more productive, like happiness and being there in the moment and being fully aware and being mindful about our surroundings and people that we love, including ourselves.